All right, it's March 1st, 2022. The year of our Lord. Welcome to the Brandcast. So the first thing is I'm going to get it off my chest. I'm fucking seething right now, Casey. Did you ever have to go to the hospital in Puerto Rico?
No, I never did.
Have you been there with someone or a doctor?
Yeah, I feel like I have.
Like Luke or something?
Yeah, I don't remember.
So you laugh, but this is one of the reasons why, and it's not just a little offshoot thing. This whole Democrat way by people who don't have to worry about their medical coverage, i.e. Congress and the Senate, is bullshit. If you want to get a good taste of socialized medicine and what you can expect if the left had their way, go to Puerto Rico. You go down there and you show up when they open. Before they open, you show up at 8 in the morning. There's no appointments. You end up waiting there and waiting there and waiting there all day. And if you don't get in, you come back tomorrow and repeat. Now, that being said, let's talk about Bruiser Brody's death. Bruiser Brody wasn't, quote, end quote, stabbed to death. Bruiser Brody's death cause was, in fact, bleeding to death during a stab wound because of the way the Puerto Rican medicine is. The EMS, they're understaffed down there because no one has any money. They're broke. They've been broke since the 80s. No one's going to fix it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Brody died because of the length of time from the stabbing to when he actually got seen by a doctor. That means that the EMS wasn't there in time, which is part of the government, and getting to the hospital. Dutch Mantell said it himself, or it was Tony Atlas that said it themselves. Can you get him in quicker? My friend was stabbed. They laughed and said, you're in Puerto Rico on a Saturday night. We have a lot of stabbings. Didn't help. He died.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so, I think it took him probably at least a couple hours to get him from the building to the hospital.
He would have lived.
Yeah.
So, in part, I'm sure that's why Invader, quote, end quote, got away with it in accordance with law. Now, they're out pimping all this stuff, and everybody knows, like, how is your life now compared to life under Donald Trump? Do you like paying $4 a gallon for gasoline? We were paying under $2. Inflation last month was 8%. 2 months ago, when it comes out now, I'll guarantee you, it's up over 11%.
Yeah.
Gas, we're paying 50% more for. I got all these lefties on my Facebook that think they're so smart, saying that, old white men don't understand economics. Well, if you're an economist, why are you in the tool and die industry? Yeah. Tell me how, and this never happens, I never get the explanation, how us being energy independent doesn't make gas less money. They're trying to jack up the price of gas. They're trying to jack up the price of gas-powered vehicles. They're giving incentives for electric shit because they want to say in 4 years that, well, you should go electric then if you're worried about saving money. Let's face it, it's just too much to drive oil-burning vehicles and gas-burning vehicles. That's bullshit. I don't care what you think you're going to do here as far as going green, man, and putting all the solar panels on your fucking house, man. You ain't going to do shit while indie countries and China are doing what they're doing. Bottom line, I'm not saying let's flush our toilets and have it go right into the rivers and all that shit. What I'm saying is, fact of the matter is, under Trump, we had the cleanest climate that we'd ever had in the history of the United States. You can't do any better. And all this crazy is not going to help when the other side of the world is doing the same damage.
Yeah.
So I go And I got to get Gianna's blood pressure medication. She needs that fucking pressure medication to fucking live, to fucking survive, you know? Jewel Osco. I love the pharmacists. They've been great to us. I hate that motherfucking company because they're trying to do more with less people. First thing they do is they go left and they start hiring people that have afflictions. I support that, but don't put them in a position where they have to hurry, because then what ends up happening is, I've seen it 10 times, your older people and just regular people and assholes get pissed off at them because they can't move as fast as the other guys. You know?
Yeah.
When they do so, they fluster and it gets worse. So, we're set up with the plan where everything was great under Donald Trump. You get a text message. They ask you, press 1 to refill, 2 to say get the fuck out. Press 1, and then it tells you within an hour, hey, your shit's ready or will be ready at this time. That didn't happen because they're fucking playing this bullshit while Schumer today, one of the heroes of the left, was bragging about Biden's economy, which is all bullshit. Those aren't real numbers. Some people are going back to work, but if the economy's so good and there's so much hiring, or so many people are working, why is everyone still looking for help?
Yeah.
You know? So, I gotta go. The shit is supposed to be ready. You know? I go to get the shit, and the shit's not ready, and I don't have the heart to bust the pharmacists and their helpers' balls, Casey. There's 8 people waiting, and 2 poor women back there trying to get this shit together, you know, because they're trying to do more with less.
Yeah.
Less people. You can't do it. So, welcome to the fucking left, and it's factual. Prove me wrong. Nothing is any better in the United States of America, or the world for that matter, since all this sensitivity bullshit has become popular, put in power. You know? Brings me to what I wanted to talk about. So last week, now I'm vented. I feel a little better.
Well, that's good.
How was my dissertation?
Oh, I liked it. It was good.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, some people are going to get pissed. You know what? I don't care. Be honest with yourselves. If you have the capacity to be honest, you know goddamn well what I'm talking about. And here's the thing. They're going to say all of a sudden now, if you don't like $4 gas, and if you don't like waiting and being fucked over because nobody can afford to do business the way they were a year and change ago, somehow you don't care about the Ukraine, or somehow I'm going to be prejudiced against blacks, gays, and women's. You know, It's ridiculous. Like, Biden said that. They actually said that because of what's going on in the Ukraine, our inflation is going to go even more up. We have to pay that price because we care. We're not doing anything for the Ukraine.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
So,
what are we doing?
I know. So whatever, man. Brings me to this. So last week we made...
The sanctions on Russia, is that what he's talking about? But that should only affect them.
Dude,
I don't know, maybe trade. But what do we do? What kind of business do we do with that?
Nothing. You know,
Part of the
here's the thing. Like, the way it was said was that because of the aid we're going to be sending. Well, we haven't sent any aid. We haven't voted on any aid. And Zelensky, the president over there, said they offered him, they wanted to sneak him out. The left wanted to sneak him out of the country so he wouldn't die. He's like, what are you talking about? The fight's here. I don't need a ride. I need ammunition.
Yeah.
You know? And now we talk about all the billions of dollars of shit we left in the Ukraine. I mean, in Afghanistan. The Ukraine could use that right now.
Yeah.
You know? It's just a bullshit. They don't have to mean or prove anything. It just has to be a strong opinion of Joy Behar, Whoopi Goldberg, Don Lemon, and Rachel Maddow. They don't need details because there are no details. You know what I'm saying? There's no fact base, and half the people in this country don't understand rule of law, statute, or laws. You know? So, The only thing I can think of now is they're trying to justify, well, we'll cut ourselves off from Russian fuel. Well, you fucking jagoff. Less than a year ago, you shut down our fuel output and got in bed with Russia. That's where we buy our fuel from. So that's what they're doing, and it's all bullshit. They're just sneaking more tax. Tax is based on a percentage. The more we pay per gallon, the higher the tax rate, the higher tax dollars they get. So it's all bullshit. It's a word, So back to what I was saying, like how bad things have gotten, how it transcends into, this is just regular common sense functioning. My daughter is half of a heart. We have a stress test for her, which blows on Friday. She hates it. It's fucking difficult for a person with half of a heart. The last thing I need is her showing up a day and a half short of her blood pressure medication. Because the numbers ain't going to be real. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then that's going to warrant further testing. Or it could, all because Juul is not making the profit margins they were, which they're entitled to under this inflation and bullshit, So that being said, now how it transcends into our industry. Last week, 2 weeks ago, a month ago, I started talking about, I finally saw Adam Cole perform in the ring and his awkward movements and his weird-ass body, right?
Yeah.
I said, I compare him to short-sleeve Samson, He's, he's a normal-sized person with a midget frame or something. Wait, a normal-sized frame with a midget body?
Yeah.
I don't know. He's midget-esque.
Yeah.
Dwarf-esque. Okay, if you're gonna bust my balls about that one. So, the fans, the ones that were so, Tony Khan's gonna sign Adam Cole. This is the greatest week of my life. Are turning on him because hey man, you're fat. You got a dad body. And he does. So it's so funny. Go back, check the records. I said this shit before the rest of you assholes are saying it. And then it gets worse. Tony Khan's, and that's how it works with AEW, is how close of friends you are to Tony is how over you're going to be on his garbage TV.
Yeah.
So Britt Baker, or Dr. Britt Baker, which doesn't make any sense to me, good-looking girl, not a bad hand, certainly not a top performer, a top hand, but she's close to him somehow, or close to the Bucks, whatever.
Yeah.
That's Adam Cole's girlfriend in real life, right?
Yeah.
So they've somewhat built her where she somewhat means something, but you know what she's doing now on her social media? She's shaming the fans that are body shaming her man's Adam Cole.
She's got her man's back, man.
Let's talk about something. You're a pro wrestler, Adam Cole. A wrestler. Look up the definition of a wrestler. Okay? I'm 56 fucking years old, Casey. Remember last week I heard the podcast, the teaser today about, hey man, something's wrong with my stomach. Something just doesn't feel right. Well, 2 days later it sinks in, my diverticula hits, And I'm like, motherfucker, that's a horrible thing when that hits. So I'm like, okay, Rand, what did you do the last couple of times where it crippled you for 7 days? What can you do different now? The first thing was this. I felt something, and I pushed myself to work out.
Yeah.
I did, legitimately, and this is what I'm talking about. I'm 50 fucking 6. I have so much arthritis, I can't even describe it. I do 4 sets of 20 burpees, and then I do 4 sets of 80 mountain climbers. 80 mountain climbers, 20 burpees, 30 seconds off. 80 mountain climbers, 20 burpees, rinse and repeat, okay? Then I fuck with my bodyweight workouts and my SunPal bands, the really heavy band. My heavy purple band, as it turns out, Casey, has 175 pounds of resistance to it. So when I start stacking bands and stuff, I'm working with a good amount of weight, just not beating up my joints. Why? Why was I kicking myself that day saying, okay, your stomach's starting to come, it's the fucking diverticula, this is going to fuck you up for 7 to 10 days. Don't work out. I train each body part twice a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I got every body part in, and on Wednesday I said, fuck it. Let's do this different. The point I'm trying to make is I am an athlete. I spent my life as an athlete, as a wrestler. In my brain, it is embedded to work out, to train. I'm now an ex-athlete. It's a commitment that I made. I cannot call myself a wrestler if I have a dad body. You understand? Yeah. In what world is it okay for this guy to let him go, Adam Cole, let himself go to that extent? And in what world, and how does anyone not see your top female wrestler, how it kills her off defending the chunk?
Well, here's the thing. I mean, no matter what hey, I'm all for, I used to like when wrestlers had, when you had the bigger guys, different types of bodies, this and that. But when you're out there when you put yourself on the public platform for public consumption, you're at the mercy of the public.
You're living.
So, I mean, that's just the way it goes.
Yep.
I'm sure there's people that talk shit about me or whatever,
Yes.
But that's all a part of it, though. You
Yeah.
got to take the good with the bad. You want to be, in the public eye, you got to take the good with the bad.
Yeah. And you're exactly right. That's what happens, and the people are entitled to.
So I don't know why I don't know why anyone's butthurt about it.
Because it's this current climate again, man. I love you, you love me. We're a happy family. Yeah. I could have a dick on my forehead and a vagina between my legs, and I should have the same opportunity as everybody else. Which is true. Have the opportunity, not be handed the fucking position.
Right, but if you're worried about the fans, they have a voice. They pay money to see. They can say whatever they want.
Well, who would pay money to see a card full of dad bods?
Well, I'm just saying. I don't. That you're right, but I'm just saying, like, as far as getting upset about the people commenting on it, you're pissing in the wind.
Yeah.
I'm hoping not to get wet.
Yeah. But the bottom line is, this is wrestling, and if you look like and the guy really looks like a bag of milk.
Yeah, you should.
You're not a wrestler.
Yeah, I think that goes across the board for the entire business.
Yeah.
I hate it. I hate that. Like I said, the standard of athlete when I was
these
working,
guys aren't athletes.
I'm just saying the standard of athlete or standard of appearance that you had to have when I worked. I mean, none of these guys would have been on television.
Fucking way.
A lot of these guys, a lot of them.
No fucking way.
I mean, at least have enough respect for the business and yourself to really look like an athlete.
Dude, if this asshole,
it's all part of the illusion. It's all part of the work.
If he did the same amount of burpees, and mountain climbers, my half dead ass does a week, 6 days a week, he wouldn't look like that. But here's where it gets fucking even different. And this isn't even a thought. It's not even being discussed by Tony Kahn or anybody there, dude. You gotta be able to work. They don't work. They do 8-minute, 10-minute, 12-minute TV matches. Their longest that's the only workout I'll bet Adam Cole gets. Now, Chief J Strongbow hated the fucking gym. Joe Scarpa hated the gym. He established himself as Joe Scarpa. Came up with the Indian gimmick because he hated the gym. He became a gimmick.
That's
a
fine.
larger-than-life gimmick that all your top baby faces, that even the Smarks glove stole a little bit from Chief J Strongbow's fire. When Chief stopped wrestling, and he was the first one to tell you, I'm fucking fat. I got fat because I don't work out. He fucking working out. But I used to wrestle every night, so I wasn't that fat. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That's what happened. So what do these guys do in their free time? Do they just sit there and play video fucking games and eat fucking beef sticks and fucking jalapeno chips and drink Gatorade? You know what I'm saying?
Dude.
And then call yourself a fucking wrestler.
Beef sticks and jalapeno poppers.
Now, even with your World Wrestling Entertainment contract that you signed in what, 04, 05?
Yeah, 04.
It had a clause in there, and it was detailed then. Didn't say, it wasn't fat shaming, but it said if your body wasn't up to standards, we have the right to get rid of you.
Something like that, yeah.
They covered it then. Yeah. Now I'll bet it's even worse. You're so lucky to be a shrimp and be in this industry today. Anybody under any kind of contract, you're so lucky. I was 202 pounds on the average and the smallest guy in every locker room I'd been in. You know, you don't know, you'll never know how hard it was to politic and get a chance to go to world class or to go to Memphis and not only get said job position, but keep said position at the size I was at.
Yeah, even me. I mean, I was big enough, but when I worked at 6'1", I worked around 230. I was still on the smaller end of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Compared to the entire talent roster.
Yeah. Now you can say, well, what about Dick Murdoch? What about this and that?
He was a big guy.
He was a big guy that was an athlete. He could move,
Yeah.
and he could also beat the shit out of you.
Yeah.
That's what this is supposed to be about. Look at the history of this industry. Bruno Sammartino would not put over Hulk Hogan because Bruno was a bad motherfucker, and no world would Hulk Hogan be able to defeat Bruno Sammartino. There were people Bob Backlund didn't want to put over because of the same thing. Bob could tie you in knots. You know what I mean? That's what you're supposed to do. I was told that, by the old timers, and it still holds true today, they should look at you and fucking think that you can beat the shit out of them regardless of your size, your gimmick, or whatever, Now, even being a small guy, and the truth of the matter is, there are guys that could beat me up, knock the shit out of me, but there aren't many guys that can knock the shit out of me and walk away unscathed. And I worked like that. When it was on, it was fucking on. And again, I think it was Johnny Valentine. You quote it a lot. It's a great thing to say. I can't make you believe in wrestling, but I can make you believe in me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That I'm real,
Yeah.
These guys don't care about that today.
Yeah.
So, look at Chad Gable and look at Adam Cole. And Vince has got to be running 5 house shows again a week, I'll bet you.
Yeah, I'll have to look into that.
But you've got to be working. If you're not working 4 times a week, you're not a fucking wrestler. Last thing I want to say, and then we'll go on to the podcast on Patreon. Please subscribe. And also, subscribe to that, and like and subscribe to this if you like it or not. Go ahead and comment. Don't be afraid. I'll field that shit. I'm not afraid of anybody. Not at this point. What the hell was the last but not least thing? Oh yeah, so Tony Kahn, he said less than 6 weeks ago when Vince was letting everybody go, and everybody was so mad, see, that's the thing with AEW. When they get a job here, they know they have a job for life. Mm-hmm. Read the fucking internet bullshit today. Chavo Guerrero, they let him go. They didn't even tell him. He had to find out on their website. Yeah, Tony, you warm soul. That's the same bullshit Dixie Carter used to pull. Tony, you're playing live wrestling action figures with human beings. You're burning up money, less money. You have less money to operate this thing than Bob Carter had with Panda Energy when he had Impact Wrestling. You're doing the exact same things they did, expecting different results. Get your guys to work. Put your money where your mouth is. You will renew your television deals when your guys can work and it can plainly be seen. This one I'm talking about, like how it pertains to what I was saying before, the influence of this participation trophy bullshit, dude. Everybody should have a chance, man. Anybody that buys High Spots gear can call themselves a wrestler. Billy Corgan even said anybody could promote a wrestling show. No, you can't. You get what you pay for. The reason I'm so angry about it is it's just not the case. It's not true. You guys don't understand, wrestlers, fans, and talk to your parents and grandparents, uncles, whatever relative that was alive during that time. When you have, like, I see these posters with 100 guys. All right, let's say there's 40 guys on a poster for an indie event, whatever event. They don't know you. You're not drawing. And if you need 40 people to sell tickets, you're still not drawing. You will never know what it's like to see a guy like Jerry the King Lawler, who was the king of Memphis. You never see heels like the heels where I was at in World Class or USWA, like Robert Fuller, where they'll pay good money to see anybody come out that curtain and knock the shit out of them because nothing's believable today. You know? It's all half-ass lucha. I used to call it half-speed lucha and half-speed Japan. Now it's all half-ass and half Japan. And you wrestlers, you think you're working the Japanese style. You're not. You're not. Because they had a story too. They told the same story. The same fucking story, but they told it in Japanese. All right. Like, subscribe. We're going to go into the podcast now. And what we're going to talk about is the news that I just read right before I got here. The deal that A&E just signed with World Wrestling Entertainment for 140 hours of programming. Not only do they have... subscribe to the Patreon for the rest of it.